Bonsoir à toutes et à tous.
Good evening.
A quick presentation, and then we'll go directly to the question. At the end of the table, Leila Slimani, Carlos Regadas, Ali Berry, Aung San Suu. Next to me, Payal Kapadia, Jeremy Strong, Alba Horvacher, Judo Amadi, and for the last time we can call her like that tonight, and after that it will be done, Madame la Présidente Juliette Binoche. Okay, let's start by a very simple question for all of you. This 2 weeks, this 11 days in Cannes were so rich for us as just movie lovers. I suppose that for you it was a great, a very special experience. If you have to keep one thing from it, what would it be? Si vous deviez garder qu'une seule chose de cette quinzaine cannoise, qu'est-ce que ce serait? On va commencer avec vous, Leila.
We'll start with Leila.
Bonsoir à tous.
Good evening,
Oh
everybody.
non, ce serait impossible de garder
It would
une
be
seule chose.
impossible to
Je
remember just
garderai
one
8
thing.
personnes merveilleuses
I'll
déjà avec
have
qui
memories of
j'ai
8
passé
wonderful
beaucoup
people
de temps,
with
avec qui
whom
on a
I've
beaucoup
spent a lot
discuté,
of
avec qui on a
time.
regardé
We
des
held
films
long
ensemble.
discussions.
Je
We
garderai
watched the
des
films
images, je
together.
garderai,
We
des
looked.
émotions.
I'll
Je
remember
garderai aussi
the
le souvenir de toutes les
images, the
personnes,
emotions, and I'll
qui sont en
remember
coulisses et
each
qui
of
font
the
que
people who are
ce
here,
festival existe et que on
who
peut le
have brought
vivre
this
de manière,
festival into
merveilleuse.
existence
Donc, je
and
garderai ça,
enabled us to
la
have this wonderful
générosité des
experience.
gens,
I'll remember people's
la beauté,
generosity,
l'amour du
the
cinéma,
beauty, the love of the
l'amour de
cinema,
l'art
the love of
qui nous
art,
réunit tous.
which brings us all together.
Pour moi, c'est
For me,
la discussion qu'on a eue à
it's the
partir du cinéma,
discussions we had
de
based
nos
on the cinema
positions, nos sensations,
and
nos
our
émotions différentes,
positions, emotions, different
tout ce qui est
feelings.
différent chez nous,
We are all different.
nous a donné de la lumière mutuelle.
And we
Et c'est ça que je
shed
garde, et à
mutual
partir de
light
cette
on each
discussion-là, on
other.
est
That's
devenus
what I
très proches,
remember.
on est devenus
And
des
based on
amis.
this discussion, we
Je pense
became
que
very close
on va
friends.
durer longtemps
I
dans cette
believe
situation-là.
this
Toute la
friendship
vie.
will last for a very long time.
Allez.
The same for me. I grew a bit bigger from this experience with all the diversity up here on this stage and listening to the ways we all interpret cinema. And it's very different. And I learned a lot from that. The beauty of the French Riviera always stays with me. And I do think we've made some lifelong friendships of people that I know we will speak to again and again and again and again.
Monsieur Aung San Suu.
Same. I feel I was very lucky to have these people as jury member. We had some differences, but we really could talk through, and I felt, wow, this is really good. Talking about film this long and still maintaining this friendship, I really appreciate it, and I found some films very beautiful. It was really good.
On va revenir de ce côté, Paya.
Now, this side.
Yes, it's everything they said. It was, for me, as somebody who's, not made too many films yet, for me, it was such a great learning experience, meeting all of them, listening, talking, discussing in such detailed, such incredible films. I think it's, all of it will be forever cherished by me and will maybe even affect the way I look at cinema from now on.
Jeremy.
Well, it feels like a lifetime ago that we sat here with each other, to me. And these, what did you say, 11 days? Have just been overflowing with life and beauty. And I feel immeasurably inspired by what I've seen here. Yeah, it's been so invigorating. And this sort of cumulative tally of the work I'll carry with me, I feel so inspired by it. And this has been a very wonderful experience, a very connective experience with this group of people. It's like conclave with champagne. So it's
That's good of you.
really great.
Alba?
Oui, je garde les cinémas
Yes.
qu'on a rencontrés ensemble.
We watched all
Les
these
cinémas
films together,
on a eu la possibilité de
and
rencontrer
the cinema
les
opens
premiers spectateurs
up
de la naissance.
all sorts of possibilities
ces films
because
qu'on a rencontrés.
we join
je
together
garde,
as spectators of all these
8
films.
personnes qui sont
I
devenues
will always remember all the other members of the jury who became incredibly close to me thanks to the cinema.
On a sauté des passages de
We were
l'amitié.
able
Et on s'est
to
rencontrés dans un
overcome
endroit
all sorts of
très
obstacles and
profond,
meet together in a very deep
spécial,
place, a very special place,
vrai,
a really
grâce
true
au cinéma.
place
Et ça,
thanks
c'est
to
la
the
chose
cinema.
incroyable et magique
That's
qui
what's
s'est
so magical
arrivé
and
pour moi.
amazing, and that's what happened.
Pareil, c'est
Same
une
for me.
expérience inoubliable.
It was an unforgettable experience.
Je garde nos échanges.
I will always remember our
et la façon
discussions
dont
and
les
the
regards
way
peuvent changer
in
après
which
avoir
one's
entendu ou
viewpoint
écouté
can
l'autre.
change after listening
sur le
to
film.
others talking
Vous n'avez
about the
peut-être pas
film.
ressenti la même chose.
We may not have
Mais
felt
quand
the
vous
same thing,
entendez
but
les uns les autres
when
parler,
you hear
tout
everyone
d'un
else
coup,
talking about the film,
le film se
suddenly
révèle à vous. Et
the
c'est une très, très
film
belle
becomes
expérience
clearer
de
to
partager
you. And it was a
ensemble pendant
wonderful
ces 2 semaines.
experience to share all this together.
Et vous, Madame la Présidente, j'adore vous appeler Madame
And
la Présidente.
Madam President, I love calling you Madam
Juste pour,
President.
encore quelques minutes après, c'est
Well,
bon.
you can do that for just a few more minutes.
J'ai eu l'impression de gravir une
I
montagne.
had the impression
ensemble.
that we were climbing up a
de
mountain
l'écoute.
together.
Ce truc-là, il veut pas rester.
Voilà.
J'ai l'impression on s'est
I
vraiment
have the
écouté.
impression that we listened
on a
carefully to
grandi
each other and we grew as people together,
pas seulement sur le cinéma, mais
not
sur
only in terms of the cinema,
notre sensibilité
but also in terms
d'artiste.
of our
Le moment que j'ai
sensitivity as
vraiment aimé,
artists. There was a moment which
c'est
I
quand
really
Hong
loved. It's when
m'a
Hong
dit, mais
said to
en
me,
fait,
well, in fact,
le cinéma, ça compte vraiment pour
the
vous.
cinema really counts for
Et il
you.
était tellement ému en
And he
disant
was
ça.
so moved when he
C'est
said
comme
that.
s'il
It's
redécouvrait
as
en
though
fait
he was
que
rediscovering
on se bat avec notre
the
passion
fact that we fight for our
pour parler
passion.
d'être humain,
We fight to
parler
talk
de
about
tout ce qui,
human
de
beings,
tout ce que nous traversons.
people,
On porte
everything
une
we
partie de l'humanité
experience.
en nous
We
grâce
carry
à ce-
part of humanity
à ces
within
moyens du
us,
cinéma.
thanks to the
Et on s'en
cinema
sent
as an art.
responsable. Et j'ai senti
We
tout
feel
au long
responsible.
de ces 11
And
jours
I felt throughout these 11
en
days,
regardant des films
when we
que
were
on
watching the
était
films,
tous,
that
ancrés dans
we were
dans
all
l'envie à la fois de s'élever, mais
deeply
de
rooted in this
défendre,
desire
une
to
vérité qu'on
grow
ressent.
and to
Et on a
defend
changé au fur et à mesure. On
the truth.
s'est convaincus les
We
uns les autres.
grew bit by bit. We convinced
Il
each
y a eu des
other.
moments forcément de
Obviously,
passage
there were
comme pour une naissance. Il faut
times
trouver
which
le
were difficult.
trou
Like
pour,
for a
pour
birth, you had
sortir.
to find
Mais je
the right
pense qu'on
hole
on a
to
été tous
emerge.
des sages-femmes pour les uns pour
It's
les
as though
autres.
we were all
Et qu'on
midwives for
on
each
s'est
other
aidés à
We helped each
essayer de
other
trouver le meilleur palmarès.
to find the best award
On va prendre des
winners.
questions dans la
We'll
salle,
take
allons-y.
questions from the room.
Monsieur.
Go ahead.
Night, everyone, and this is Xingxu, journalist from Yifeng.com from China. And my question is mainly goes to Madame Julie Binoche and also open up to everyone on the stage if interested. And I just want to ask, why did you want to invent this special award for Resurrection by Bigan? And in your opinion, why this film is so special? And could you share with us your thoughts or ideas after watching this film? Yeah, thank you.
C'est un prix qu'on a inventé.
It's
Et
a prize we invented.
C'était mon désir.
And this is what I
En tant que
wanted.
présidente, on a
as a president.
les possibilités de proposer des
We
choses.
can
Après, le jury
propose
dit oui
certain
ou non,
things, and
mais
then the jury says yes
parce
or
que
no.
c'était comme un film ovni
It
d'une
was like
grande
an
invention.
unidentified flying object, an amazing invention.
Qui fait partie des rêves de réalisateurs. Il y a
which
une
is the stuff of directors' dreams. It was so different. We watched a lot of very different films, but this one in particular, it truly amazed me. I found it was quite extraordinary.
Tout le jury a eu envie d'accompagner cette idée de prix spécial.
This idea of a special prize.
Même si parfois c'est difficile de tout comprendre, mais je trouve que ce film permet le rêve et des sous-textes qu'on sent, qui ne sont pas forcément dits, mais qui sont réels.
There are lines which aren't necessarily uttered, but they're there. It's a sort of a subtext.
Il faut essayer de les deviner.
And you have to try to guess what they are.
Ça permet de la poésie, ça permet
It provides for a lot of poetry.
de ressentir quelque chose
It makes
en
it
soi
possible to feel things within yourself
on n'avait pas forcément imaginé.
that
Donc ça fait
you may
grandir.
not have
Un film
imagined.
comme
It
ça
makes you grow as a person.
m'a touchée
This film
et je ne sais pas
deeply
exactement
moved me.
expliquer pourquoi, mais il y a
I
quelque
can't
chose
really
de mystérieux
explain why. There's something
que j'avais envie
mysterious in it
de partager à
that I
travers
wanted to share
un prix.
through this prize.
OK. Une question là-bas, monsieur.
Hi,
Pardon,
I'm
madame.
Mariane Muriçawa from with o Estado de São Paulo and Veja Brazil. I wanted to ask you, why did you decide to give 2 prizes to Secret Agent, directing and actor? Because it's not usual, actually, it's kind of against the rules, kind of. So can you explain that decision, please?
Who wants to answer about Secret Agent? Nobody, OK.
That was our wish.
We like the Secret Agent very much. Most of us really like the film, so we wanted to give one of the top prizes to the film. And among all the male actors, we thought that this Wagner, no, I forgot, sorry. He was, how can I say, I've seen his film before, and in this film, somehow revealed his real sensitivity very well. Personally, I enjoyed it very much. So we had other actors who did a great job. We know that, but we chose him. It was possible to give 2 prizes for the one film, so we discussed and we gave him the prize.
Before we let you go, we have to let you go. But before that, let's talk about the Palme d'Or and the prize to Jafar Panahi's movie. When you give the Palme d'Or to this film, first of all, it's a great film, and I think we all agree here. But there's also a gest, something that's important. That it's a gesture to give this award. Do you see that, and did that come into your process of giving the Palme d'Or to Un Simple Accident? Madame la Présidente.
C'est un geste artistique, ce film.
It's an artistic gesture, this film. It's very human and political at the same time, because he comes from a complicated country, politically speaking.
En voyant le film, il y avait
When
une
we
telle
watched
évidence
the film, it really stood out.
Que c'est un film qui émerge d'un lieu de résistance, d'un lieu de
springs from
survie,
a feeling of resistance,
et qui
survival,
est nécessaire aujourd'hui.
Which is absolutely necessary today. So we felt it was important
de le mettre au plus haut.
To give this film the Paramount Award. 15 years ago, Jafar Panahi was in prison.
À la suite de la cérémonie
and after
comment on dit,
Palmarès.
le palmarès ou la fin. 3
the
jours après,
award-winning
le
ceremony.
gouvernement iranien
3
a décidé
days
de le
later,
libérer. Donc,
the
c'était
Iranian government
très
decided to
émouvant
release him.
de pouvoir
So it was
fêter ça
deeply
ce soir
moving to
avec
be
lui et
able
avec
to
son
celebrate
équipe.
that with him and with his team, with his
Parce que
crew.
l'art gagnera toujours.
Art will always win.
L'humain gagnera toujours.
What is human will always win.
Le besoin créateur en nous, il peut transformer des mondes, transformer des
urge
situations
can transform the world, can transform situations that from a human sense are impossible to put up with. I believe very much in this. I think we can continue to inspire the world and to speak to people who can't speak up themselves, as actors, as directors, as people who work in art. We can speak out in public on important issues and transform the world.
Nous inspirer, nous changer.
We can inspire people and change things.
These top 2 prizes, you said gesture, but I think it's important to say for us, we wanted to recognize films that we felt were transcendent, intrinsically as pieces of work. And this festival began, I've been thinking about this a lot, with a few almost North Stars. Juliette spoke about bringing a softness into the world. And Bob De Niro talked about that fascists should fear art. And I feel that these choices reflect, for me, those principles. And they both have within them, these guys have heard me say this a lot, but Ibsen talked about, he said, deep inside there is a poem within the poem. And when you hear that, when you grasp that, you will understand my song. And I feel that this film and the other films have these poems within the poem that allow us to grasp something ineffable, that have changed me.
Et aussi pour rajouter quelque chose
I'd like to
qui me
add
semble
something
important, c'est que
which
le
I feel
film
is
de
important.
Jafar Panahi,
Jafar Panahi's film,
il permet en fait, puisqu'on est dans un monde de vengeance,
because we're in a world
cruel,
ruled
violent,
by revenge, violence,
et ce film
cruelty.
permet
This film,
pour quelqu'un qui a vécu en prison,
for someone
quelqu'un qui a vécu des
who's been
violences
in prison
dans sa
and
vie,
has experienced violence in his or her life,
qu'il puisse parler dans son film de
the fact
ce
that one
retournement
can
en
talk
soi,
about this
qui n'est pas
change
celui de
within the
la
film,
vengeance,
this
mais
change which
qui
is
est
not
en tout cas
revenge.
d'écouter et de pas forcément envie
The idea
d'aller
is
donner un
that
coup
you
de poing,
can
tuer quelqu'un.
listen and not
parce qu'il a
necessarily
fait du mal.
want
Donc,
to
pour
go
moi,
and
c'est
kill
un
someone
film
or
d'un
rough them
espoir
up.
fou
So
et d'une
the film
nécessité folle,
holds out huge hope.
et on a eu la chance d'avoir ce film
And we
dans
were
le-
very fortunate to have
dans
this
le- dans la
film
compétition,
in the
afin de
competition
parler de ça, en fait,
so that we could talk
dans le
about
monde.
all these matters.
Il faut changer
You have to
de
change.
paradigme, il faut changer
You have to have
de
a
façon de voir, et
paradigm
pour
shift,
l'instant,
change your
on est
way
dans
of
la boue,
looking at things. And for the
dans la
time
boue
being,
de
we're
la
in the
violence, dans la
mud, in the
boue
mud of violence, in the mud and the
des inhumains,
sludge of what is
et on a
inhuman.
envie de dire qu'il y a d'autres façons.
And
Il y a
we
d'autres
must
façons de vivre.
say that
Et
there is a
si on fait
different
pas
way of
ce
living.
pas là vers
If we don't take this step
l'autre,
towards other people,
on n'est pas des humains.
then we're not real human beings.
Oui, je voulais dire la même
I
chose
wanted to
que
say
Juliette.
the same thing as
Si ce film
Juliette.
est politique, c'est parce qu'il
It's
pose
a
une question
political film
fondamentale,
because
une
it asks a
question
fundamental
philosophique,
question, a
qui est celle de la
philosophical
vengeance.
question.
Il interroge
What is
la façon dont chacun
revenge
d'entre
and
nous,
violence?
nous décidons d'être ou pas quelqu'un de bien,
We can
d'ajouter ou
all
pas de la
decide whether
violence
we
à la
want to be
violence, de la
someone who's
brutalité
good or add to brutality and violence. Instead, what's beautiful in this film is that it's political but full of grace at the same time, because it opens up the possibility of a form of redemption and hope. And perhaps those people who opt for what is good, who decide not to take revenge, then they will have won the most beautiful battles, that of upholding their integrity. And this human integrity is extremely important. We must uphold the artistic integrity of this man who had such a wonderful cast, such a wonderful crew and team who were deeply engaged by his side. That also is quite a gesture. Standing by Jafar Panahi's side to make a film is a real message. And this is a film that calls on us all to ask questions. Ladies and members of the jury, Madam President, thank you very much.
Give you space.